knight had ridden 3 weeks through forest and rain to find this place. He had slain a beastman warband, crossed a flooded river in full armor, and buried 2 of his squires along the road. And now at last he stood at the edge of the sacred pool, lance lowered, heart hammering, because something was already waiting for him. It stood at the tree line, green as the deep forest, as something that has existed far longer than any man. Its armor was antlered and ancient, its face was hidden, and from behind the visor came no breath, no sound, nothing. It brandished the dolorous blade, a massive claymore that hummed with a pale, ghostly light. And it was watching him, judging him, deciding in absolute silence whether he was worthy to continue breathing. This is the Green Knight, Bretonnia's immortal executioner, the lady's final word on whether a man's soul is pure enough to stand in her presence. He has waited at these sacred places for 1,500 years, never knowing defeat. He has never, not once, shown mercy to those he has found wanting. Scholars of the Empire have made the mistake of classifying the Green Knight as a ghost, a demon, or some form of undead sorcery. They are wrong on all counts, and the distinction matters enormously. The Green Knight is not a dead man bound to this world by unfinished business. He is not a soul refusing to depart. He is something older and stranger than either of those things. He is a manifestation, a portion of the land of Bretonnia itself, given form and purpose by the will of the lady. He is what happens when the sacred earth decides it needs a protector and reaches into its own deep memory to create one. This is why weapons cannot truly harm him. Drive a lance through his chest, and the wound closes like water disturbed by a stone. Take his head clean from his shoulders in a duel, and then the body walks over and picks it up and continues the fight without missing a step. He cannot be killed because he was never fully alive in the way mortals understand the word. He is Bretonnia, and Bretonnia does not die. The Green Knight does not attack. He challenges. There is a difference, and it's key. When a knight approaches a sacred site, the Green Knight appears and issues a silent challenge, an invitation to prove worthiness through combat. The knight may decline. The Green Knight will not stop them from walking away. But walking away means the sacred site is barred to them forever. The Grail quest ended, and the lady's blessing permanently withheld. So they fight, and the Green Knight does not fight to injure. He does not fight to display his skill. He fights to test the soul. He watches for the precise moment when fear enters a knight's heart, not the natural fear of mortal danger that he expects, and it does not condemn. He watches for the deeper thing, the moment when fear overrides honor, when a knight steps back instead of forward, when a knight's sword arm drops because self-preservation has won over duty. That is the moment the dolorous blade moves, not in anger or with cruelty, but with the absolute certainty of a scale that has reached its verdict. The lady does not want warriors who cannot feel fear. She wants warriors who feel it completely and choose correctly anyway. Those who cannot make that choice do not leave the glade. No record exists of the Green Knight being defeated, not by force of arms. For 1,500 years, he has issued his silent challenge to the finest warriors the old world has ever produced. Chaos champions have come to defile the sacred sites and found only a wall of emerald steel. They did not pass. Greenskin warbands have charged into his groves and been repelled by a single figure who took every blow and gave back only ruin. Vampire lords, sorcerers, and demon-touched killers all have faced the guardian of the glade. None have passed him through strength alone. The only defeat the Green Knight has ever known is the moment he chooses to step aside for a soul pure enough to meet his gaze. He does not sleep. He does not falter. He is the land made manifest, and the land does not tire. The lady has given her mandate, and as long as Bretonnia breathes, her executioner will be waiting. The sacred sites are not the only places where the Green Knight appears. When Bretonnia itself faces an existential threat, not border skirmishes, but the genuine civilization-ending kind of danger, the Green Knight rides to war. He has appeared on battlefields during the worst invasions the kingdom has ever faced. He rides at the vanguard without being summoned, without orders or coordination. He simply appears where the need is greatest, and on the open field, without the constraints of a formal challenge, the Green Knight fights differently. He is not testing anyone. He is ending the threat. Soldiers who have survived battles where the Green Knight rode alongside them speak of the experience with a barely controlled terror. He cut through the greenskin hordes at the Battle of Quesnel like a scythe through summer grass. At the siege of Montfort, he turned the tide alone, appearing in the thick of the breach to slaughter the invaders until the walls were slick with blood. There is no cavalry charge he cannot survive. There is no army that can hold a line against him. He is the last resort of a land that refuses to be conquered. Every Bretonnian knows the question. Every knight who has ever sought the Grail has asked it. Is the Green Knight Gilles le Breton, the founder king of Bretonnia, the first Grail Knight, the man who drank from the lady's chalice and united 12 warring dukedoms? Did he not die at all, but transform? Did the lady take his mortal wounds and give him something else in return? A new purpose? An existence beyond death and beyond ordinary life? Neither ghost nor living man, but something that the land itself needed him to become? No one has ever made him answer. The Green Knight's silence is absolute. 1,500 years of challenges, battles, and appearances at the darkest moments in Bretonnian history, and never a single word spoken. The elector counts of the empire dismiss the Green Knight as superstition. The scholars of Altdorf write him off as mass hysteria and poetic embellishment. But the Bretonnians simply ride toward him when they see him, because when the Green Knight appears, they know two things. The situation is desperate enough to have called him, and they will not face it alone. Was he always this? Or was he once a mortal king who became something the world had never seen before? All these questions and many more will be answered in The Tales of the Old World. Subscribe and click the notifications button, and I shall see you in the next tale.